Hey there, welcome to Life Noggin. Why does everything suck about being an ant? Well, here are 8 reasons why it sucks to be an ant. Number 8, your whole life is predetermined. The moment you hatch from your egg, you are born into your role within the colony. This means that there is no room for exploration or chance. As soon as you emerge, you know who you're going to be and what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Number 7, no personal space. When you're living in a colony full of hundreds of thousands of other ants, personal space isn't really a thing. In fact, you probably share a room with dozens of your siblings and maybe mum and dad too. And if you thought having a roommate was bad, well, imagine having 100,000 of them. Number 6, no name. Yeah, no one's going to call you up and ask how your day was. In fact, no one will ask you anything because you don't have a name. Number 5, no birthday cake. Who wants to celebrate a birthday in a dark, dank tunnel? Number 4, a bossy queen. Yep, we're talking about Mum. Most likely she's the one who laid your egg. In fact, in some species, there's only one queen per colony and all the other ants are her children. Speaking of kids, you probably have a lot of them. The queen lays hundreds of eggs a day, which means that you may have hundreds of siblings in your colony. Queens can live for many years, so they continue making more and more little ants, which means you're probably going to have a lot of company. And what does this mean for you? Well, most likely you'll be working for your mum for the rest of your life. Number 3, you work from day one. No time to smell the roses. When you're an ant, you get straight down to business. For female worker ants, that means heading off to work. For male ants, it means finding a mate before you die. There's no time for fun and games when you're an ant. Number 2, the jobs are terrible. Let's talk jobs. You can be a forager. Congrats, you're free. Until a raindrop hits, and it's basically a tsunami. A nurse. Good luck babysitting hundreds of eggs that look like alien boogers. A soldier. Sounds cool, until you realise you're just a bitey helmet with legs. Or worse, a bridge. Yes, a literal body bridge. You are the infrastructure now. Now don't get me wrong, being a bridge totally has its perks, like getting to hang out with the best-looking ants in the colony, the soldiers. But also you're stuck in the same position for days, weeks or months. Plus, what if the bridge breaks? You wouldn't want to find yourself scattered across the colony in 50 pieces. No. 1, you eat regurgitated bug juice. Yum. If you thought cafeteria food was gross, you'd love being an ant. Because that cafeteria is basically a nursery where the nurses feed the larvae with regurgitated bug juice. What kind of juice you get depends on what the foragers found that day. It could be a sweet treat made from honeydew, or a savoury snack made from beetle juice. Maybe you'll get something spicy with some cockroach milk. Who knows? You're just an ant, but I'll tell you one thing. You definitely won't be eating pizza anytime soon. Ants do have a pretty good thing going, though. They're strong, organised and surprisingly smart, even without a brain the size of a walnut. It's hard to argue that being an ant isn't all it's cracked up to be, but the downside is you won't be around long enough to enjoy it. Now let's take a look at some of the other downsides to being an ant. First, your lifespan is super short. Depending on the species, an ant can live anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of years. Compared to humans, who can live well into their 80s and 90s, ants don't have much time to enjoy their lives. Second, ants are constantly under threat. From predators such as birds, frogs and spiders, ants have to be on the lookout at all times. Even if they're not in danger, ants still have to deal with the elements. They're often exposed to extreme temperatures, high winds and heavy rain. This can make even the simplest tasks, like foraging for food or finding a new nest, a dangerous journey. Third, ants have to deal with other ants. There's a lot of competition in the insect world, and ants are no exception. They're constantly fighting with each other for limited resources such as food and shelter. They're also constantly being infiltrated by enemy ants looking to destroy their colony. All this conflict makes life pretty stressful for an ant. Finally, ants have to deal with humans. Humans are the ultimate predator for ants. We've figured out how to invade their nests, poison their food and block their trails. We've even domesticated some species of ants and forced them to fight to the death. Thanks, humans. But let's say you're an ant who doesn't mind the long hours, the danger and the constant fighting. Surely there's at least one good thing about being an ant, right? Wrong. Even if you're willing to overlook all the bad things about being an ant, there's still one major downside. Being an ant is a lot of work. It requires complete dedication and sacrifice. In fact, most worker ants never leave the nest. They spend their entire lives carrying out tasks for the colony. Soldier ants spend their days patrolling the perimeter, looking for threats. And if that weren't enough, they also have to deal with the stress of knowing that their colony could be wiped out at any moment. So being an ant isn't all it's cracked up to be. Sure, there are some benefits, like being part of a strong and successful colony, but the downsides far outweigh the upsides. Ants are basically like corporate drones, except with shorter lifespans and a higher body count. So count yourself lucky, you never became an ant. Now, if you were born as an ant, you're probably working right now. So take a break and watch this video instead. Or better yet, click this other link to watch another video. As always, this has been Life Noggin. Don't forget to keep on thinking.